Yes. Hello. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bucks Locker. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel. Share the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you on all new videos that's posted on this channel. Shout out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Glad y'all here. Opening weekend. Opening first Sunday in the NFL. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend, good day. I'm going to let everybody come on in. What's happening, everybody? Let's get it cracking for the next 15 minutes. We'll do a little post game recap. Just got back inside. I've been working on my trucks all day, installing some LED lights, changed my grill, LED lights, brake lights, the bulbs, dash bulbs to LEDs. So basically, LED upgrade from a truck. So that's what I've been doing all day. While I was doing that, I was watching the game. So I was kind of like ciphering through the all the games, but I was watching the Bucs game too outside. So I couldn't really go live outside. That didn't make any sense. Yeah, so I got all that installed. I gotta do some brake lights on my Silverado. I gotta change the whole brake light setup. That thing's like burnt out, flamed out on the two outside bulbs. But I got my LED upgrade from a Chevy, my 98 OBS Tahoe. The not complete upgrade, but I gotta do the upper interior lights. The buttons that you can press up there top. But yeah, so everything's looking good. The truck is looking good right now. The truck runs well. I'm happy with that. Now, let's get down to the business. For the next 15 minutes, we're going to do a little conversation real quick because I got stuff to do. I don't need no F-150. I'm good. I'm straight. I don't got no car payments. I ain't buying no vehicles. I got no payments, no auto payments. I'm good. How's everybody doing before I start? Let me give some shout outs real quick before I dive into this real quick. Zach, what's happening? Andre Cook, Exclusive Garvey, Sal, Brandon Evans, who else we got? J May, Marlon, Daniel Berry Sports, Trill G Boy, Haitian Boy, Who Dat for Life, Damien, Big Bucks, Mom for Christ, Fire the Cannons Go Bucks, A-Rod, Styles. I said Brandon. Okay, what's up, Brandon? Sandoval 813. Byron, what's up, man? JR Dot, what's the deal? JKTB 813. Lucas, Mopar Buck. So yeah. So here we go. The Bucs defeats the Bucs defeated the Washington Redskins in my Todd Bowles voice by the score of 37-20. I don't know where to start at. Like it was a good game. I had the Bucs winning this game anyway, so I will say this. I think this was Baker's best game. Sherm City, what's up? To me, this was Baker's best game I've seen him play as a Buck. Now there is some caveats to this, but I like what I saw today, right? You know what I'm saying? But there's always buts, right? Sack. So let me go through the stats real quick. Molly Mall, what's up, man? Like I said, I got a chance to watch the game. I didn't watch like every single second of the game, but I watched at least about 95% of the game, 90, 93, 95% of the game. So let me go through the stats real quick before I give my before I give my treasure chest to the players of the game, in my opinion, y'all might say different, but I have some players of the game. 1 second here. All right. So let me do the team stats first. So team stats, total yards, Bucs 392 yards, Washington Commanders or Redskins 299. Bucs had 280 yards passing. 100. The Redskins or the Commanders had 161 yards passing. Rushing yards, Bucs had 112. The Commanders had 138. Bucs averaged 6.4 yards per play. The Commanders 5.3. Redskins. Let me say Redskins. First downs, Bucs had 22. Redskins had 22. Third down, Bucs were 9 for 13. Commanders or Redskins was 2 for 8. No fourth down conversions. The Redskins did convert a fourth round. They 1 for 1. The Bucs had 61 total plays. The Redskins had 56. The Bucs allow 1 sack. The Redskins allowed 2 sacks. The Bucs punted 1 time. The Redskins punted 3 times. The Bucs had 7 penalties for 46 yards. The Redskins had 7 penalties for 51. Time of possession, the Bucs had the ball for 33 minutes and 41 seconds. And the Redskins had the ball for 26 minutes and 19 seconds. All right. So, player stats. I'll start with the Bucs first. Right now, the Rams are playing the Lions right now. The Rams are winning 3-0. Baker, 24 for 30. 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Damn near perfect game, right? Rushing yards. Bucky Irvin, 9 carries for 62 yards, 6.9 yards a carry. Rashad White, 15 carries, 31 yards, 2.1 yards a carry. Baker had 3 carries for 21 yards, 7 yards per carry. Cam Johnson had a little end round reverse, didn't go for no yards. Brent, what's up, Brent? Dada, what's up, man? Chris Godwin had 8 catches for 83 yards, 10 yards a catch, 1 touchdown. Rashad White had 6 for 75, 12.5 yards a catch. Mike Evans had 5 for 61 with 2 tutties, 12 yards a catch. Jalen McMillan had 1 catch for 32 yards. That touchdown, they tried to get him one early. He should have had 2 of them. He dropped 1 of them, but we'll get to that in a second. Trey Palmer had 1 for 19. Bucky Irvin had 2 for 14. Kate Otten had 1 for 5. A measly 1 for 5. Defense. Jordan Whitehead had 8 tackles. Ray PTV, what's up, man? Winfield Jr. had 7. Savasi Dennis had 6. Levante had 6. Jamel Dean had 5. KJ Bray had 5. Vita had 3. Tryon had 2 and a sack. Chris Eisen had 2. Anthony Nielsen had 2. CJ Brewer had 2. Zion McCullough had 1. We'll get to that in a second. Braswell had an assist tackle. Savasi Dennis had a sack too. Sean Tucker had 1 kick return for 22 yards. Trey Palmer 1 punt return for 15. Chase McLaughlin hit all 3 of his field goals. Yes, indeed. That's 9 points right there. 56-yard field goal. That was big. Carter had 1 punt for 38 yards. And then the Redskins, Jalen Daniels, who I think was the best rookie quarterback today, had 17 for 24 for 184 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Jalen Daniels had 16 carries, 88 yards, 2 tutties. Brian Robinson had 12 carries for 40 yards, 1 touchdown. Austin Eckler had 2 carries for 10 yards. Passing, the Redskins passing attack was not great at all. It was a lot of dinkiness, donkish. I'm not a fan of Cliff Kingsbury style of offense because it flames out really quick. It's a lot of college concepts. But I'll get to that in a second. Austin Eckler had 4 catches. Brian Robinson had 3. Zach Ertz had 3. Luke McCaffrey had 3. Terry McLaughlin, their best receiver, had 2 for 17. That's crazy. How you not get him the ball? Jamison Crowder had 1 catch, and Zacchaeus had 1 for 15. Defensively, the Redskins they got issues. They got issues in the secondary. But we'll get to that in a second. And they're kicking. Okay. So let's get a little breakdown. So I got about 10 minutes in this. Okay, enough of that. So my players of the game who gets the treasure chest. Baker Mayfield is one of them. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Bucky Irvin, offensively. Defensively, Savasi Dennis, I'm gonna give him 1. I'll give Tryon 1 too. And I'll break all this stuff down in a second. Chase McLaughlin gets a treasure chest. A lot of coins. Yeah, so that's the guys. That's the players of the game for me. On both sides of the ball. Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin gets a treasure chest too. Full of gold and diamonds and platinum. But yeah, so here is my take on the game. Great victory by the Bucs. Dominated the game from start to finish. First game of the season. If you watch the NFL today, it was ugly for a lot of teams. The most impressive teams for me today was the Steelers. Shout out to the Steelers beating the Falcons and the Patriots. Those two were the most impressive teams because they beat too hard. They beat the Patriots beat a really like a playoff team, and then the Steelers went on the road, beat up a hyped up Atlanta team on the road. So and then the Steelers, a lot of issues with them, but Mike Tomlin keep getting it done. Now, not taking nothing away from the Bucs. The Bucs had a great victory, but we also understand this as football fans. It is the lonely, hopeless Commanders. That team that we played today will be lucky to win 4 or 5 games. In my opinion, they will probably be picking in the top 3 again, top 4. But we'll get to that in a second. Bucs passing attack is there. We already know this. These are the things that we already know. We know the Bucs got a good passing attack with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Jalen McMillan and Trey Palmer. We already know that. Okay? That's not a surprise. If anybody's surprised on what happened today, I'm going to need you to come sit down next to me and we can talk about football. You should not be surprised by what happened today through the air. Okay? Robert Jr., 2005, what's up, man? You late. Vincent, what's up? Offensively, the passing attack is gonna be there. It's gonna be there. Bassmaster, what's up? It's gonna be there. It's especially against bad teams. And Washington is one of the 3 or 4 bad teams in the NFL, along with the Panthers. Panthers, Giants, Redskins, Hillsborough 813. They're really bad teams. Really bad teams. And if you couldn't see that today, I need you to come sit next to me and we could talk football. The Redskins had no answer for the Bucs pass game. It was like easy pickings. Baker Mayfield, literally had his pick of the litter, 24 for 30. There was one point, I think he went like 12 straight completions. The Redskins secondary is one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. It was probably the worst. It was like bottom 2, bottom 3. So what Baker Mayfield did today, it was expected from me. My bar is not set low as far as the Bucs passing attack. What the Bucs did today through the air is expected. First-year coordinator Liam Cohen, shout out to him, took advantage of a really bad secondary, and he needed to do that. It was like the Redskins was like a feel-good game to get the Bucs ready for, because these next 10 weeks, it ain't gonna be that many hard games, folks. I mean, it ain't gonna be no more. It ain't gonna. These next 10 weeks, we got one more easy game. The Broncos. These next 10 weeks is about to be. We about to see early and really quick about the Bucs. Starting next week, and we'll get to that in another video. But what happened today was expected from me. As far as, am I impressed? No, because it was expected. Now, if you're impressed by this game, then I need you to come sit next to me and we can talk football. Right? I'm going to say this again. I wasn't impressed. And this is not to say like, oh, no. This was expected. My bar is not set low, and I'm not concerned about games like this. I think I'm at a point now as a Bucs fan. I'm not concerned about games like this. Bucs playing teams like the Commanders or the Redskins, the Raiders, the Giants, the Broncos, teams like that, you better dominate. You better dominate. So my bar is set pretty high for the Bucs as far as beating to me it's about beating the better teams. Now there's some Bucs fans running around chest bumping and high-fiving and Raheem Morrison and all day long, right? But to be a really, really good team, to get talked about, you have to dominate games like this. But also, you have to do this against the good teams. We know, well, I don't know about you, but I know the Bucs can beat teams like the Redskins, the Raiders, the Giants, the Panthers, the Broncos. Those are bad teams. You're supposed to win those games. If you don't win those games, then that tells you more about what the direction of the team's going. My bar is not set low. And people's like, well, Buckles Locker, why are you not impressed? It's the Redskins. You're supposed to win that. You're supposed to dominate. You're supposed to have almost 400 yards total offense. They're not good. Like, if you was watching the game, that team is not good. Outside of their front four, front five, whatever, they're not good. Their back end is terrible. I bet you can't name nobody in their secondary. Can you name anybody in their secondary that's worth a damn? Will anybody in their secondary be starting for the Bucs? For most teams. Come on, man. Of course Baker gonna have a really good game. And I'm glad he did, because I want him to have the confidence in playing the Lions, the Eagles, the 49ers, the Ravens, the Cowboys. Teams like that. That's what I want to see. I want to see that game against the big boys, the Chiefs, the Ravens, against competent defenses. We know what the Bucs can do against bad defenses. I want to see this. I want the Bucs to take this performance offensively and take it to the big games. That's the only way this team is going to get any credit, because we're not going to get credit for beating teams like the Raiders, the Giants, the Redskins, the Panthers, because everybody's going to be like, they're terrible. If you go around the NFL today and just read the room, if you think anybody talking about the Bucs beating the Commanders, the Redskins? No, nobody cares, because they go like, the Redskins are terrible. They're rebuilding, which is true. That's why I'm not impressed, because that's a rebuilding team. That team had to get gutted out. That franchise had to get gutted out from the owner all the way down to the coaching staff, to the players. That's a rebuilding. That's a rebuild. Now, on the flip side, going back to the Bucs, they did what they're supposed to do offensively. Now, quick breakdown offensively, the Bucs need to work on the running game. Now, Bucky Irvin, 9 carries, 62 yards. And I'm going to say this, and I said this before. Bucky Irvin is going to take a lot of carries from Rachaad White. Rachaad White will become the pass-catching guy. He will become the pass-catching running back. I promise you. Well, in my opinion, I ain't going to say promise. But from what I see, what my eyes tell me, Bucky Irvin is going to become the running back one at some point in the season. I just think, I'm going to say, I stand on this. Rachaad White is a good catching running back. He had 15 carries for 22 yards. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. And I don't think it's going to take long for Todd Bowles and Liam Cohen to see that Bucky Irvin offers a bit more in the running game. Rachaad White, bless his heart, but and people keep trying to cap for him, but I don't think he's the runner that y'all think he is. Some of y'all think he is. Grizzly, what's up, man? The running game is still an issue. The running game is still a problem. With Rachaad White running the ball, the running game is still a problem. Interior O-line still got to tighten up. Still got it. Graham Barton had a couple of, rookie, he was getting pushed around a little bit by Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Cody Mulch, man, oh man, I don't know, man. And Ben Brinson, bless his heart, but the interior got to get it together. The interior O-line got to get it together, man. To me, and I said this before, the Bucs look the same as they did last year. They're gonna beat teams like the Commanders, Redskins. They're gonna have games like this, and that's why I'm not gonna get too hyped because I'm already expecting this. In order for the Bucs to get better running the ball, Bucky Irvin needs more touches. Because I think he could do more behind that O-line than Rachaad White can. He offers more juice than Rachaad White in the running game. No disrespect to Rachaad White. He can get some carries, but by the middle of the season, I think Bucky Irvin going to be getting that. He's going to be running that thing. And Rachaad White going to be the third down guy. I don't even know why it's taking so long for the Bucs to realize this. Why can't they? It's like this game right here should let them know right away. It shouldn't even take long for the Bucs to realize that Bucky Irvin can do a lot more with this O-line than Rachaad White. He too slow. What up, King Cook? The interior O-line still gotta figure it out because they was getting pushed around. The interior O-line gotta figure it out because we're gonna be playing better fronts or better defenses. And this was a pretty good front four with the two interior guys, and you can see the Bucs gonna have some issues there. They're gonna have some issues in that interior O-line. Like Graham Barton, hopefully he get it together down the road, but this is expected. This is expected in the beginning of the season. But the interior O-line, it looked like last year. Just struggling. And Baker Mayfield got pressured quite a bit. And luckily, Baker Mayfield has some scrambling abilities. Tony Lee, what's up, man? Bassmaster. Baker could have got sacked several times because of interior pressure from the Redskins. Teams are going to attack the Bucs interior O-line again this season, just like they did last season and the season before that. They was getting pushed around run blocking. And even in pass blocking, they was getting pushed around. Now, they had some good pass blocking sets, but if you just look at the game for football, for football eyeballs, you can see the interior O-line was struggling. The tackles, they did good. Tristan Wirfs had one play that he got beat by Jamie Davis, and then Luke Gadecki. Good at pass blocking, but the run block is still in question for me. It's the run blocking, and then the tight end. The same things I pointed out before with the Bucs is the same things I saw in this game. Tight end, I mean, what are we doing there? You know what I'm saying? An interior O-line. I pointed these things out already. It's exactly what I saw today. Tight end, lack of production. The running back, Rashad White, question mark. The interior O-line, question mark. Tight end. You know, these are things that I talked about before the season. Thank God Bucky Irvin had, I think one of the carries was like 12 yards and another carry was over 20 yards. So it's like two out of all the carries the Bucs had, two of them went for over 10 yards. And that was Bucky Irvin. It seemed like when he gets in the game, the run plays are different. I don't know what it is. But the same things I saw going into the season before today's game is the same things I still got concerns about. The run blocking, when Rashad White running the ball, and interior O-line, and the tight end. Baker was fine. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, he dropped the ball, but he made up for it. And then Trey Palmer. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about the same things I already pointed out before the season started. The offense overall looked good, but we got to get down to the nitty-gritty. And this is only one game. This is only game one. It's only game one. But the interior O-line still is in question. The running game with Rashad White is in question. In the tight end, the lack of production is still in question. The same things that they had last year. It's the same things. It's the same issues, the same question marks I had last year throughout the season is what I saw today. Will we have 16 more games like this? No. This is one of those games where, you know, we got a bad team. But this is not going to happen every Sunday. We're not going to have these type of games every Sunday. It's not how it works. There's going to be some games where the defense, the team that we're playing, their defense is just good. And we're going to have to actually earn that. Like, this was I got to say this, but this was an easy victory. This is I'm not saying it was a gimme, but it's the Commanders. This is a rebuilding team. It is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what are we doing here? All right. And then on the flip side, defensively, and shout out to Liam Cohen getting his feet wet as a play caller against a terrible secondary. Let's be real. The Commanders secondary, the Redskins secondary is bottom 3. They don't have anybody in the secondary worth a damn. And y'all know this. The coaching staff trying to figure, some of those guys, they didn't even draft. So expect another 2 or 3 draft classes before the Redskins / Commanders be something. It's going to take them a couple years for them to be, because they got to get rid of some of those guys. Bassmaster, thank you. I was going to get to that. You could tell the way they was coaching that game. You could tell that they knew they weren't going to win that game with Jalen Daniels. Defensively, the Bucs, look, they're not going to play a quarterback like Daniels every week. They're going to play quarterbacks that's going to throw the ball, that can make the right reads. Jalen Daniels, he's going to be good. They just got to build around him. And please do not treat him like an RG3. I hope they don't RG3 Daniels, man. I hope they don't RG3 him. Because I hope they don't run that boy to the ground, because he got some legs, but my goodness, he played the best out of all the rookie quarterbacks. He played better than Bo Nix. He definitely played better than Caleb Williams. All that hype for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So I think Jalen Daniels going to be good, but they got to chill out with running him like that. He's too small to be taking that many hits. It's 17 games in the season. It's 17 games in the season. That ain't going to work. Like the Cliff Kingsbury offense that we saw today as a Bucs defense, a lot of gimmicky stuff, a lot of college concepts. If you watch football, you can see the college concepts. If you didn't see the college concepts, it was easy to defend. If you didn't see that today in with the Bucs defense, what they were facing, I need you to come sit next to me and we can watch football, and we can slow the tape down. You could tell that it caused the Bucs some problems. They're not going to be facing that type of offense every Sunday. They're going to be facing a lot better offenses than that, than Cliff Kingsbury led offense, because you can see the college concepts, and it was giving Bucs the problems. And you can see the Jalen Daniels scrambling abilities that was giving the Bucs problems. Okay? They're not going to be facing this type of offense every Sunday. They're going to be facing better offenses than this. I promise you. You look at the schedule. I promise you. They're going to be playing a way better offenses than the Redskins/Commanders. They got another rookie quarterback on the schedule. They got Bryce Young twice, right? They got Gardner Minshew, wily guy. They got terrible Daniel Jones. So they're going to be playing some offenses that are not good. But then there's also offenses that's on that schedule that's going to be a lot better than what we saw today that the defense is going to go against. Defensively, the question marks are still there. Still there. Pass rush. Now, Joe Tryon-Stoinka, he had a sack today. Savassi Dennis, he was credited with a sack today. But that doesn't cover up the question marks I still have. If the Bucs don't blitz, they don't get no sacks. They don't get no sacks. Like, if you didn't see that today, I need you to come sit next to me and we can watch the tape again. I need you to, if you did not see that without the blitz, the Bucs are going to struggle. I need you to come sit next to me if you can't see that. The same question marks that I had going into the season, I saw today defensively. Mostly from the pass rush. Without the blitz, they don't get to nobody. They're not going to get to Jalen Daniels. I was watching the game. I was like, well, wait a minute. And then when they did blitz, what did Jalen Daniels do? He ran around. In order for the Bucs to take the next step, they have to get a consistent pass rush. Now, if I had to grade the pass rush today as a whole, just the pass rush, no blitzing, C. C. And that's being nice. They have to generate pass rush, especially when they play better O-lines. The Redskins/Commanders O-line is not good. It's the bottom 3. It's a bottom 3 O-line. Their tackles are not good. Their guards are not really good. The Bucs D-line should have dominated rushing the passer. Now, Yaya had some pressure. He had a couple plays that he kind of got back there, but he just didn't break down good enough. But just from a pass rushing perspective, wasn't good enough. Because we're going to play better O-lines. And if you couldn't get no pass rush against a bad O-line without blitzing, then we got the same issues. We need pass rush, folks. It's the same question marks I had before the season started. Shout out to Joe Tryon-Stoinka, got a sack, but he had 5.5 last year. But it was like, okay, 1 here, and then 3 games later there, and then no, he needs to have consistency. Do not let the first game fool you. Because Joe Tryon got that sack, but I was watching him. Outside of that sack, I was like, he couldn't. Now, the Washington left tackle was not good. And he was struggling in a lot of those plays. I was watching Tryon really close, and I'm like, he got a sack, but I'm like, a lot of them pass rushing plays, he just was not, he couldn't get nowhere. And when they blitzed, it kind of gave him opportunity to do some things, but they're straight up rushing the passer. I'm like, what's going on here? And then next week, we got a better tackle combo to play against. Penei Sewell and the Lions left tackle, forgot his name, but the Lions got 2 good tackles, and that's what we got to play next week. You think they're gonna beat those guys 1-on-1? You ain't beating Penei Sewell. Nobody beat him. He's a top 5 tackle. So once again, all the question marks I had for the Bucs, I saw today. All the question marks. It's like I flip the page and I read the same script: pass rush, running game, interior O-line, tight end. Same thing. Bucs beat a bad team. They dominated the bad team. We already saw this story. I already saw this story already. I want to see a new story. Todd Bowles with the blitzing, the Bucs get a sack. I saw this already. Can you imagine if the Bucs had a pass rush without blitzing? You know how better that defense will be without blitzing all the time? But you can rely on 4 guys and maybe bring 1 more guy and keep 6 back. You know how more better the defense will be? Secondary. The safeties did a good job. Puka Nacua hurt again. Puka Nacua, he plays so hard. His career not gonna be long. Anyway, the secondary in particular safeties, they did their job. Now, granted, it was against the Carlton Davis made a play. Look at Carlton Davis, he made a play. Carlton Davis made a play. Oh, Cooper Kupp just dropped the ball. He ain't made no play. Cooper Kupp just dropped the ball. But secondary, they like, what we gonna do there? Because Bryce Hall, leg injury, pretty bad. Pretty bad leg injury, and I don't want to look at it again either. Zion McCullough got evaluated for a concussion. So what's going on there? And I don't know if he's gonna be ready for next week. That secondary got dinged up. Christian Eisen had to go out there and play cornerback. They didn't throw the ball at Jamel Dean for whatever reason, and I think that was just more of a rookie quarterback. I think because the Bucs did shade the safety help over to Jamel Dean to help him out with Scary Terry. And then they just like literally Todd Bowles said, we're going to take out Terry McLaughlin out the game. We're going to take him out the game, and you're going to beat us with somebody else. And the Redskins / Commanders don't have any other receivers really worth a damn. It's basically Scary Terry or bust. And maybe an occasional Zach Ertz. But the Bucs cornerbacks, they will get tested next week. This ain't no joke, folks. They will get tested. With Jared Goff and Ben Johnson, we know how to get down with the Bucs. We already know the last 2 games that we played the Lions, Ben Johnson had a field day against Todd Bowles blitzing. And now the fact that our cornerbacks are what are we going to do there? Are we going to go sign somebody? Because the concussion protocol, we won't know until probably Wednesday or Thursday about with Zion McCullough. And then with Bryce Hall out, probably going to be out for an extended period of time, probably going to be out for the season. And then we can't rely on Christian Eisen out there on the island by himself, which means we're going to have to play more coverage. That means we can't blitz as much. That means Winfield Jr. can't blitz as much. The Bucs going to have to figure this out with the secondary, with the cornerbacks in particular. Once again, a position that I had question marks in, the question marks are still there. The question marks are still there. Everything I talked about literally played out in this game. And even after this game, the question marks are still there until I see something different. Next week, we're going to play a more dynamic, 10 times better offense than the pedestrian Commanders pass gimmicky college-style concept offense. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can come sit next to me and we can watch the Commanders/Redskins passing attack again in NFL replay. It was pedestrian. More dynamic next week. You think that it's going to be cakewalk next week? You think Ben Johnson not going to be ready for Todd Bowles blitzing? Ben Johnson is really him. He can call plays, and we know that. We saw that twice last season. He just carved up the Bucs all defense. This is why I'm kind of glad the Bucs did play the Commanders, because it's like, yeah, get right. But now we got these injuries, banged up, and they got a tight end, and they got a pass catching running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. So it's like, well, we got to get right in the secondary, in particular cornerback. I'm just saying. It's a whole different animal playing the Lions. We know this. We saw it twice last year. It's a whole different animal playing the Lions. They got weapons everywhere. That play calling is ridiculous. Really, really good. And you can't blitz them like that. You can't blitz the Lions like that because they'll eat you up. And they got a good O-line. Oh, yeah, Taylor Decker is a left tackle. They got two good tackles. The interior O-line is pretty good, too. It's a whole different animal next week, folks. This ain't the Commanders that we're playing next week. This is a team looking at the Super Bowl. And let's be honest, we almost in that category. Like we need to take another step. Like the Lions, they was 3-13 the first year. Oh, he hurt. Jameson Williams, he out. He hurt. Jameson Williams hurt. That knee didn't look good. Ouch. That knee didn't look good at all, folks. What did I tell y'all about getting the breaks? So when we play these good teams, we got to hope that some of them players hurt. Because at full strength, we're going to struggle against good teams. At full strength, both teams, full strength, we're going to struggle. But if Jameson Williams hurt, and I don't want nobody to get hurt, but if he's hurt, that's good for the Bucs. But also KJ Britt. What did I tell you about KJ Britt? The same question marks I had going into the season is the same question marks I saw in the game. KJ Britt is just slow. You saw it on third down. They had to sub him out and put Savasi Dennis in. KJ Britt is slow. He's a thumper in the run stuffing, but in pass defense, nah, man. He ain't it. I told y'all about KJ Britt. I literally told y'all. Saw it in preseason. Saw it today in real life going against first team offense that is not even good. He looks slow. To me, he does not have the 3-down capability to play linebacker. And Ben Johnson will exploit that. Told y'all about KJ Britt. Not fast enough. You feel me? And luckily we got Levante David. And Jordan Whitehead and Winfield Jr. But KJ Britt, it's a question mark. I literally told y'all that. The secondary, we're gonna find out real quick next week. People saying, "Oh, the team looks so much better." How do you know that? So the team looks so much better because they beat a terrible Redskin team? How do we know the team is better? We won't know the team is better until they play the better teams. Oh, look, folks, we got one. We got one. Remember one of my hashtags I told y'all about? Here go one. Didn't I tell y'all about these type of Bucs fans? They never around when I speak good. Like obviously this guy didn't hear the first 25-30 minutes of the video. Wasn't around when I was saying all the good stuff at the beginning, the first 20-25 minutes. He happens to show up and hear me saying some of the things I saw that the Bucs could do better or didn't look good. Oh, I'm being negative. Oh, hashtag, oh, he negative. Oh, but where were you at the first 25 minutes when I was saying the Bucs did this, that, this, and that good? Baker did this, Baker did that. Nowhere to be found. See what I'm saying? They only want to point out when I say I can't say anything that the Bucs did bad or didn't look good. I can't say nothing. I got to be quiet. I can't say KJ Britt was slow. I can't say the pass rush still a question mark. I can't say the interior. I can't say none of that. I got to say it was a perfect game. It was all good. I told y'all about these guys. They only come around when I say the realness. But where was the... Oh, he talking good. What was you at the first 25 minutes? Clown? Where were you at when I was talking about what the Bucs did good? Clown face? What you thought I was going to say? It was a grade A game, 8+, and everything was perfect? No game is perfect. Clowns like that makes me laugh. Those type of Bucs fans do not like to hear the full story. They only want you to stay on one track. They don't want to hear that the interior O-line was still an issue. They don't want to hear that Rachaad White still don't look good running the ball. They don't want to hear stuff like that. As I wrap this video up, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Hashtag facts over feelings. What I saw today is I didn't see anything like, oh my gosh. I saw this last year. Passing game good. Receivers good. The tackles, in particular, Tristan Waters is going to be good. Run game still in question. Tight end, what is that? Same thing. Braswell was out there today, but it's going to take him some time. He's a project. But at least he's going to get some playing time. He's going to get a lot of playing time. Braswell go get a lot of playing time. He was in coverage a little bit too. But I don't know how much he's going to play next week against a better tackle duo. Because he's going to need some time. He's going to need some more strength. Because going against Penei Sewell, you ain't getting back there. You ain't getting back there. It's a wrap. So the Bucs gonna have their work cut out for them next week, but that's another video. Yeah, the penalties was still an issue. The penalties to me wasn't crazy. It wasn't like, it's only one game, right? And for a lot of teams in the NFL, if you watched the games today, and I watched pretty much all of them, we're going to see this type of play for the first several weeks. Some teams are going to be looking terrible. Some of the good teams, whatever, it's not going to look good. It's going to take a few weeks because these guys did not play in preseason. They barely played. Unless you play a really bad team like the Giants or the Commanders, you're going to look terrible. If you happen to play a good team today, it showed. It showed that you didn't play in the preseason. So now you got about 4 games to get yourself together. Only a few teams had an opportunity to basically play bad teams. Some of them games, I was like, whoa, that's not a bad team, but they're on the schedule, first game of the season. The Patriots beat the Bengals. Who think the Patriots is better than the Bengals? By the end of the season, who gonna be the better team? The Ravens got beat by the Chiefs. They just so happen to play the Super Bowl reigning champions. Who think the Ravens bad? At the end of the season, we know where the Ravens gonna be at. The Cowboys and the Browns. The Browns didn't look good against the Cowboys. Who think the Browns gonna be terrible? Even with Deshaun Watson playing bad. I'm just saying. This is week one, folks. This is week one. Do not eat the cookies. Do not eat the cookies, folks. This is a long season. I promise you, what you see today is not what you're going to see in the next several weeks. There's going to be some injuries, quarterbacks getting hurt. We already experienced that today. It's 16 more games. This is a long season, folks. Do not eat the cookies. Because you know what I'm going to say? Just like I said last year, I'm going to wait till about week 8, 9, 10. These first several weeks, I'm not going to be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's really like that. Nope. Nope. I'm not falling for that. And I was smart enough last year to understand it's 17 games. Things can change. Because people can start fast and finish slow. Oh, the Bucs beat the Commanders 37-20. Congratulations. 16 more games. I'm going to wait till week 8, week 9, week 10 like I did last year. Because these next 10 weeks, outside of the Broncos, it's finna be hell. The Broncos is the last sorry team, in my opinion. Until week 11. We got one more bad team on the schedule until week 11. So it's about to get real fast. Pun intended. Exactly, King Cook. We started out 3-1, and people was jumping up and down, running around, pounding their chest, and then we went through the gauntlet and went 1-6, and it was like, oh man, we was 4-7 after 11 games, and then we had the back end. So that's what I'm saying. You can't get hyped up after 1 week, especially beating a team that is in rebuild mode. And I did watch the Broncos today, and they were getting after. Yeah, you're right, Jay Ellis. I watched a lot of these games. Brandon Browner and Nick Benito and Cooper at the edge, and they was getting after Alex Singleton, Patrick Surtain. The Broncos ain't gonna be no step over. Offensively, they're not gonna be great until Bo Nix. I'm just not. Bo Nix, Caleb Williams. I'm not getting hyped over that. The Bears fans hyped up because they beat the Titans, who's not a good team. I'm not a fan of Will Levis. I don't think he's good. Caleb Williams had a terrible game. Bo Nix had a terrible game. Jalen Daniels had the best game. And people was hyping up Caleb Williams like he really liked that. He looked terrible. He got bailed out by the Bears defense and special teams. You think that's gonna last the whole season? They're gonna get their butts whipped a lot. The Titans gonna get whipped a lot. The Broncos gonna get whooped a lot. But the defense is gonna keep them in the games. Bo Nix was a dink and dunk quarterback at Oregon. He was not good throwing the ball down the field. He was really good throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage, a lot of screen passes, a lot of tunnel screens, wide receiver screens, tight end screens. He did a lot of that at Oregon. That don't work in the NFL. You found that out real quick. If you watch the Broncos and Seahawks game, it didn't take long to figure that out. That, oh boy, this ain't gonna be good for him this year. Bo Nix should have 4 picks total. He had 2, but it should have been 4. Caleb Williams got away with some stuff too. What happened to all the razzle dazzle in preseason from Caleb Williams? Why we didn't see that today? You want to know why? It's everybody's good on the field. Everybody's good. You're not playing McNeese State or Sanford. I'm just saying. NFL is 16 games, and these rookie quarterbacks finna go through hell. They finna get baptized because they starting too fast. I'm just saying. Sports Guru 1993. Oh, we got a couple super chats. No locker room tonight. I'm about to wrap this up. Locker room tonight. Shout out to Bucket with your girl. $2 super chat. Locker room tonight. No, that's gonna take way too long to do a locker room tonight. I might do a small bit of it. Maybe tomorrow. I'm just doing my post game recap. Marlon with a $2 super chat. Jalen Hurts wasn't good either. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, folks gotta chill out, man. You gotta chill out. You gotta chill out, man. You gotta chill out. You gotta chill out, man. Like, I'm not the game. I told y'all this. The games I'm really focused on, the games I'm really like gonna be really into it, is the Big 7. The Big 7 and the 4 divisional games. The Big 7, and then the 4 games, 2 against the Panthers, 2 against the Saints, and 2 against the Falcons. So 11 games, 11 out of 17 games, that's where my eyes are at. And no disrespect to the other 6 games, but I'm not really worried about those games. And you can take it, you can do with that what you will. I'm not worried about those other 6 games. In my mind, those are wins. Now, things can change, but in my mind, those are wins because those are bad teams. But I'm worried about the Big 7 and 2 against Atlanta and 2 against the Saints. That's my main focus. I'm not worried about the Panthers. I'm not worried about the Raiders and the Giants and the Commanders and the Broncos. I'm not worried about them. Maybe the Chargers. They depends on how Jim Harbaugh is a pretty good coach, but I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the Big 7 and the division games against the Falcons and the Saints. Those other 6 games, we better go 6-0. Remember I told y'all we can't have no WTF games in those 6 games. In those 6 games, they cannot be WTFs. Got to go 6-0 in those games and beat one big team. Anyway, shout out to all the Piracy Bandits. Thank you for joining the first episode of the regular season Locker Room Talk. Bucs with the W, 1-0, 37-20, dominating the lowly Commanders. With that being said, folks, it's a long season. Don't eat the cookie right now. Don't eat it. I'm trying to tell y'all, wait. Fire those cannons. Seize the day. Raise the flag. Hashtag facts or feelings. Hashtag what does your eyes tell you? Hashtag why? Hashtag don't get mad at me. I don't play the game. I just talk about it. Hashtag oh you negative. Hashtag, come sit next to me if you don't understand what I'm talking about. I'll break it down for you. Hashtag, probability over possibility. Okay? Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Buckles Locker, signing out. Enjoy the victory, folks. Sleep well. Peace.